Picture the very first humans. No fire, no tools, just soft, slow animals in the grass. Now picture what the animals saw. Not a king, not a danger, just food that walked funny. So what did they really think of us? And when did that look in their eyes change? We like to tell a certain story about ourselves. We are the smart ones, the top of the food chain, the kings of the planet. But for most of our history, no animal saw us that way. They didn't know our names. They didn't know we would one day feed them from a bowl. They only knew what they could smell, hear, and see. And what they saw was not impressive. Think about what an early human actually was. Slow legs, no claws, no fangs, soft skin, bad nose. In a forest full of teeth, we were one of the weaker things walking around. To a hungry predator, that shape meant one simple thing: a meal. Big cats hunted us. Hyenas hunted us. For a long, long time, we were not the hunters. We were the hunted. And the animals knew it. They could smell our fear. When you are scared, your body makes a sharp, sour scent, and you cannot hide it. A wolf can smell it. A big cat can smell it. To them, that scent said one thing: this one is weak. This one is afraid. So for thousands of years, when an animal looked at a human, it did not see a leader. It saw a slow, soft thing that was easy to catch. But even an easy meal can fight back. We threw rocks, we screamed together, we came in groups, and we did not scatter. So a smart predator had to do the math. Is this small, bony meal worth a broken jaw? Often the answer was no. Even as prey, we were never quite simple. And that little bit of risk is where everything began. Because here's the strange part. Something about us did not add up. We had forward-facing eyes like a hunter. We walked straight at things like a hunter. We carried sharp sticks, and we moved in groups that worked together. So to many animals, we were confusing. We looked weak, but we acted dangerous. A deer would freeze and stare. Is this prey, or is this a threat? A wolf would stop at the edge of the trees and just watch. Not attacking, not leaving, just trying to understand the strange upright thing. And this is the part most people miss. Animals never really asked, what is a human? They asked a simpler question. What does this thing do? They did not judge us by our shape. They judged us by our behavior, your smell, your speed, the way you move, whether your hands bring food or pain. To an animal, you were not a species with a name. You were a pattern, and they watched that pattern very, very closely. Then came the animals who saw something new in us. Not food, not danger, opportunity. When early humans killed something big, we could not eat all of it. We left meat behind, and the smart animals noticed. Crows and ravens started to follow human groups. Where the humans went, food appeared. To a raven, a human was not a king or a monster. A human was a walking dinner bell. And crows took this further than any other animal. A crow that you treat badly will remember your face for years. And it will tell other crows about you. Birds that never even met you will learn that your face means danger. But it works the other way too. A crow that you feed will remember that as well. Some even bring small gifts, a button, a shiny piece of glass, left right where the food usually is. So to a crow, you are not just a human. You are a name on a list, safe or dangerous, and that list gets passed around. Now think about the big plant eaters, animals like wild horses. To them, we were a strange kind of problem. We had eyes on the front of our face, like a hunter. We walked right up to them, like a hunter. Everything about us said predator. But then this predator did something no predator does. It brought food. It did not attack. It stayed calm. A horse is built to read your body. It feels your fear, your tension, your breathing. So over time, some horses learned something strange. This predator-shaped creature is not going to hurt me. Maybe I can stand next to it. Maybe I can trust it. That is a huge thing for a prey animal to feel. And then there is the animal that picked us, instead of us picking it. The cat. We did not really tame the cat. The cat tamed itself. When humans started to store grain, the mice came. And where there are mice, there are cats. The cats came for the food. They stayed because life near humans was easy. We did not go out and catch them. They walked up to us and decided we were useful. To a cat, you were never a master. You were a warm, soft roommate who happens to open cans. And honestly, they still see us that way. But one animal followed closer than all the rest. The wolf. Some wolves learned that staying near humans meant scraps, warmth, and safety from bigger predators. The boldest ones crept a little closer to the fire each night. They did not see us as masters. They saw us as a strange, useful pack. And slowly, over many lifetimes, those wolves became something new. They became dogs. That was the moment everything started to change. And the dog went further than any animal before it. It did not just tolerate us. It started to watch our faces. It learned our moods. When you are sad, it comes close. When you are happy, it knows. No wild wolf ever did that for a stranger. Somewhere along the way, a hunter's old prey became the one creature that actually loves us back. Now, here someone will say, maybe the animals felt nothing. Maybe they just smelled food and walked closer, like a machine. And sure, instinct is part of it. Hunger pulls. But that does not explain the wolf that chose to lie down by a stranger's fire instead of running into the safe, dark woods. That is not just hunger. That is a choice. A wild animal looking at a human and deciding, in its own quiet way, you are not my enemy. A machine does not make that choice. A mind does. And the strangest part? It never stopped. Animals are still reading us right now. Walk through any city and you will see it. Pigeons that know exactly how close they can get to your feet. Foxes that learned which streets have food and which have danger. Raccoons that figured out how to open our bins. To a city animal, you are not the king of the planet. You are a big, slow shape that sometimes drops food. We are like moving trees that rain down snacks. Our whole world, our cities and cars and trash, might look to them like a giant, confusing machine that makes leftovers. They do not fear us the way their ancestors did. They use us. So why did the look in their eyes change? Slowly, we stopped being prey. We made fire that kept the big cats away. We made weapons that made us painful to hunt. And generation after generation, the animals that feared us survived, and the ones that did not, did not. We did not just climb to the top of the food chain. We rewrote how almost every animal on Earth sees us. Fear of humans is now built into them, deep, like an instinct. Most wild animals are born already knowing to run from your shape. And here is something we forget. While the animals were studying us, we were studying them. We watched which wolf came closest. We learned which ones would not bite. Trust was never simply given. It was built, slowly, by both sides, one careful step at a time. We were not just taming them. We were meeting them halfway. Two very different minds, in the dark, slowly deciding to risk each other. But here's the question that should sit with you. We know what wild animals think of us. What about the ones who live in our homes? The dog on your couch, the cat on your bed. They are not afraid of you. They chose to be near you. So what do they see when they look up at you? We can guess what a wolf thought 10,000 years ago. We cannot fully guess what your dog is thinking right now, looking up at your face. We changed how animals see us. We will never truly know what that view looks like from the inside. There is one last picture worth holding on to. Go back to the very beginning. A cold night, a long time ago. A small human fire in the dark, and one wolf sitting just outside the light. It was still half wild. It was still hungry. It could have turned and walked back into the safe black trees, like its ancestors always had. But it did not. It looked at this strange, soft, slow creature by the fire. And instead of seeing prey, instead of seeing a predator, it saw something new. Something worth staying near. So it lay down. And it stayed. That one small choice by that one fire changed two stories at once. Ours and theirs. We spent the rest of history telling animals what kind of creature we are. Not with words. With fire, with food, with kindness, and with cruelty. And it all started with one animal, on one cold night, looking at a human and deciding to trust us first. Every time you reach down to pet a dog or a wild bird lands a little closer than it should, you are living inside the answer to a question that took thousands of years to ask. They are still watching us. They are still deciding. And so are we.